Alright, welcome back to another video, and again, this is a little different than my normal gameplay videos. I'm gonna be honest, I've tried getting some gameplay footage on with the official servers, but I'm not gonna lie, it's been me dying just repetitively to just mega packs and stuff. So, yeah. But anyway, I went ahead and just decided, you know what, I haven't done a tier list, and I haven't seen anyone recently do tier lists yet for Path of Titans. Probably, I think the last time was like early 2025 with Velocity. So I thought I'd do one as of currently mid 2025 to see how everything's changed. Because again, a lot has changed since that time. So let's just get right into it. So first one I want to start off with was a Kilo Baiter. A Kilo is in a really weird spot. Again, I'm doing this tier list based on how well they are in combat, especially, and survivability. A Kilo can do pretty good against other mid tiers. But it definitely does require to shine in order for it to shine, it needs to be in a group. It needs to be in a group, which does suck, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's still good playable, but I definitely could still use some more tweaks. It does do pretty high damage, you know, for a 2 slot. I'll give it that. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It works really well with Raptor groups, though. If we're counting it like in terms of how well it does in groups, it could definitely be very high. But Alio, I think it's TLC, man. Alio players, I'm not an Alio player, but y'all have been sitting there, y'all have been waiting for this TLC to happen, and I don't blame you. This sucker feels almost unloved. Hopefully when it does get its TLC, it gives it the love that it deserves. Hopefully. But I'm not saying it's a bad playable. It's still definitely one of the faster playables out of especially the carnies. It's definitely one of the fastest, and I think it's not the worst thing, but it just needs a TLC. It needs it. It's not in the best position. Next up is Aloe. I'm gonna be honest, Aloe's not D tier, but it does need a TLC as well. Currently, it's C tier because of the recent damage changes it got. 80 damage hatchet bite with 40 damage on the claws, especially because the bleed especially is still pretty good. Pretty good. The turn radius on them is really good too, so it means against especially like apexes, like who don't have juke, so obviously like going up against Spinos, going up against Rexes, getting behind them with Aloe is actually pretty doable. Just gotta kind of bait out, especially like Spinal Sweep, because that tail attack does do good damage now with Spino. But in terms of Rex, all you gotta do is just kind of stay behind them, and you kind of got it. So that's all I really gotta say. It does need a TLC still. It's definitely not the best out of the other 3 slots. Once it gets its TLC, hopefully maybe it makes it probably one of the better playables in the game, which I hope it does. Because again, a TLC can really decide whether you improve it or you break it. It really just depends. Speaking of breaking it, Serato is honestly, I hate to say it, but it's like top of C tier. People can make Serato work, but what I've seen is that it's very hard to actually make it work. In my opinion, it's hard. It might be just a skill issue for me, though, to be fair, so. Yeah, who am I kidding? It might be a skill issue for me, but I think it needs, I mean, I don't know, with the speed changes too, it makes me want to put it into B tier. But the problem is, in order for it to deal high damage, it costs either stamina or it's going to cost health, which is like Thrash, it costs, you know, it's a recoil ability. And then Swerve, which actually does 70 damage, actually requires, you know, stamina. And it gets butt ridden by very small things very easily. Or even other 2 slots can do it. And it kind of sucks. But yeah, in terms of that, I hope that maybe it can get improved in the future, because, I mean, I feel like I cannot put this thing in C tier. I feel like I cannot. I'm gonna put it B. I'm just gonna put it B tier. It's gonna be bottom B tier though. Concavinator. This is an easy S tier. After the TLC, these things are nightmare fuel. I cannot fight these things for the life of me. I cannot fight these things. They are just that. They are just that good. Grouped, solo, they're just probably the most survivable thing in the game now because of that. And I think they deserve the S tier spot. I think before the TLC, I probably would have put them B tier, but after the TLC, yeah, they're S tier now at this point. That is an example of a TLC that actually did not break it. It literally made it much, much better. Next is Dasp, though. Dasp, I think, is an A tier. It's not the worst. It is definitely one of the better 3 slots in the game, though. It has the speed, it has the damage, it can fracture. Honestly, it's the bane of a lot of 2 slots. It's the bane of a lot of like smaller tier things. Because these suckers, their speed is insane. I mean, it's not as crazy because it did recently get nerfed, I remember. But it's still a good playable. And it's definitely nowhere near like being the worst thing in the game. It's really strong. I honestly have nothing else to say about this thing. It's just, to people who know how to play Dasp, you're probably one of the most feared players in the game because you can hunt either, again, you can spec into either hunting big things and you're really good at it, or you can spec into hunting smaller things and you're really good at it. But anyway, Deinonychus, I gotta put you in. I gotta put you actually at bottom of B tier. Actually, yeah, bottom of B tier because again, it's not a bad playable. It's again more meant to be like a support or a scout for like other carnies. It's not meant to like fully like take on big things by itself. And it doesn't deal the highest damage, especially by itself. So honestly, I put it this high though, is because its survivability is really good, and when it's in groups, it's really good. Even in solo, it can survive really well. It just can't really participate in PvP much. I think the only things they can properly PvP with are ramps if they catch them, you know, if they catch them off guard, or even like at the lasso that's grounded. That's the only thing I could think of, but other than that, that's all I really got to say about Deinonychus. There's not much else to say. It's not the worst. Again, it's not a bad playable. It's definitely not meant to like fully combat by itself. It's meant to be grouped. And it's meant to be like a support for them as well. But in terms of another raptor, I think I put Latin of Eotrike higher than Deinonychus. It can take more of a hit, just only a bit more. It definitely can deal more damage. I think it can bleed as well now. I think they switched out one of its attacks where it can actually inflict bleed while pouncing. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think any players have been speccing into that lately. I think they still stick with like raptor strikes and stuff like that. But Latins are scary. They are very scary to deal with if they know what they're doing. Because even the ripping kick, if they can spam it if they know how to at least keep the bleed up, they can actually stack it quite well. Like, they don't even need to pounce their target unless they see like they're low enough to where like, you know what, I'm just gonna pounce them. Just gonna do it. And honestly, the night buffs as well that come with it, it makes it definitely a very scary playable to deal with. And that's all I really gotta say about Latin. It's not meant to brawl out like crazy, but a good Latin can kill at least a 2 slot by itself. Now for Meg, it needs a TLC too. Venom needs an overhaul completely. I think I put you at C tier. Like, don't get me wrong, you're survivable. You are very survivable. You can dive underwater, but you're just not. I don't even know how to put it. It's just because Meg is my second most playable thing in the game. And the problem is, again, it just needs a proper TLC. A good raptor can easily just get behind it and just keep ripping kick it. Like a good Latin could do that to them. Especially if it's night, they have the speed boost. They can just keep running circles around them. Going up against a Metri is like not winnable because a Metri could just heal itself. Serato, I mean, a Serato that knows how to utilize their juke at least can take out a Meg, just the fact that it can outdamage it. A Kilo just massively outdamages it. Alios can run away from it. Fighting anything bigger is even more of a challenge too, because for one, you got to worry about Rex. If you're going up against a Rex, that it can grab you. Tyranno Titan can juke and heavy bite. I've seen only one dino I see it actually do shockingly really good with, because the fact that its hitbox is so low to the ground that its tail attack misses, is a Marga. A Marga is already really hard to deal with in general, but the fact that Meg could just easily go underneath that tail hitbox and just keep biting them is insane. But in terms of combat with other 2 slots, it's very hard for them. It is very hard for them to deal with other 2 slots. And that's why I feel like Meg is just a C tier at the moment. I really do hope its TLC does overhaul Venom and that it has a really good amount of customization with it, because I'm not sure what they can do with it. I do have ideas of what they can try. I've seen like some really cool art of like TLC concepts. And there was one where they said it should be pretty much like a dragon mage, where you should be able to spec into it like a dragon mage build, which I'm like, that sounds pretty cool, honestly. And the people who say it isn't realistic, Suko and Duck can literally give themselves wetness immunity in the rain. So I don't want to hear anything about like, oh, that's not realistic at all. I don't want to hear that. And also the healing abilities exist. Speaking of healing abilities, I think Metri is still S tier. Even after its speed nerf, it's still really strong, because the fact that a good Metri can absolutely demolish a Rex, because of the fact that they can stay behind him. Not only can they defeat Rexes, they pretty much can take on even a Pycno. Anything that doesn't have bleed, they can take advantage of. Of course, the few things they do stay away from are probably Bars, Spinos, Tyrannotitans, because, well, I mean, Tyrannotitans bleed. But they can run circles around a lot of players. And it's pretty scary when a good Metri can do that. Especially because they can just run off, use their heal call, and then come back in, ready to fight again. These things are still scary. And the recent update actually reduced the cooldowns of their abilities. I mean, they can use their healing abilities way more rapidly now. Which means a long drawn out fight with them, yeah, not doable. Not doable at all. But anyway, another S tier I gotta give it to is Pycno. Pycno, simple playstyle, high speed. And also the benefit of knockback to keeping things away from you. Or even just knocking things off of cliffs and stuff, or even just knocking them into water to buy you time. Draining their stamina probably while trying to swim back. Again, it's a really, really strong playable. And I don't get why some people don't think Pycno is that good. I've played it before. And even after the recent updates, I've been loving it, honestly. It's a really strong playable. But you gotta know your matchups. That's the thing. When it comes to using any of these things, you gotta know what you can fight and what you can't fight. You gotta know what's like things you have to stay away from, are the things, the things that you can take on. Like Pycno can take out anything that has pretty much immunity to knockback. So obviously, Iggy's can be their biggest downfall. They can't really fight Iggy's. They can't really fight Apexes because the Apexes just deal so much damage. They can't really fight things like, again, things that are just really resilient to knockback, or things that can make themselves immune. So pretty much, again, Iggy, who else can do it? And I think also Amarga. Where's Amarga? There's Amarga right there. So yeah, things like that can just straight up mess up a Pycno charge, or anything that can even utilize knockback, because knockback apparently now, well, actually, not even apparently, it does. It can cancel charges now. So if somebody times either, let's say, a backhand or a tail attack properly, they can cancel the charge. Which is where, again, I need to let you all know. I've seen Pycnos utilize juke with their charge pretty easily. They'll intentionally miss and then just juke after charging, and it keeps their momentum. So which means that charge is still going to deal high damage. It's a really good combo. Juke mixed with the charge. Although you do lose your tail attack, but I'm going to be honest, you don't really need the knockout tail attack. Because not only that, 80% of the time, you miss it. It tends to miss. But anyway. Next one is Sarko. After the changes to Sarko, though, it's been a lot better. If we're counting how good it is in water fights, it would be much higher. Which, honestly, I'll still put it there. I'll put it at the top of B tier for now. Because it's still not bad. It works well with being able to ambush and grab things, and it can survive much better on land with the stamina and health increase. Even though it got reduced again recently. It went from 700 now to 650. But that does not mean Sarko's a bad playable. Sarko still is really good. Especially in water fights. These guys just are insanely scary to deal with, especially because now they can tank more hits. But again, they do have more competition lately with the TLC, other TLC semi-aquatics. I mean, of course, we already know Dinochirus is insanely fast in the water. And of course, that backhand can keep a circle back every time. Spino can literally just spec into dash abilities that can just debuff a target. And Suko can just activate a muffled roar, and that's it. Alright, Spino. Spino lately, I think is just one of the best Apexes to play as, because of the fact that it's semi-aquatic. Honestly, it's hard to decide, but I think I'm going to put him A tier, though. He's not an S tier playable, but he is an A tier. People need to understand one thing. Don't precise movement with your Spino if something's behind you. Run behind your target. Try to run and turn, because running and turning does help. Spino has a decently tight turn radius when it comes to running, sprinting, and turning. Turning in place, though, yeah, not your strongest strong suit. It's not best to do that. I think at that point, just learn to utilize it. Also, the AoE abilities did get buffed to knocking things back, which is nice. Like, honestly, it makes me want to switch out to Sweep whenever I do play Spino, because Sweep does only knock back in the water. And now the AoE does knock back, but the problem is the AoE it has a cooldown. It has a longer cooldown. That's the issue. That's the issue I have with it. It's because I feel like it's going to be like a, 15-second cooldown, and now I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, they have 15 seconds where they can get behind me again. So, I mean, it still can work, though. I think Spino is just definitely one of the better playables after the recent TLC. The damage, I mean, again, the mixture of being able to use Bite and Claw attack, like unanimously, or is that the word, unanimously? I don't even know. But pretty much being able to use them repetitively when trying to face tank like another Apex. I managed to kill a Rex with not even a fully grown, like a subadult Spino. He activated his call, tried to ambush me. Didn't get the bone break on me, which I was lucky. And I just simply faced him and just kept sprinting behind him to get him. Even though, yes, Rexes can also turn much more tightly now. I still was able to get him. Because I did activate also my armor boosting ability, and I think that's what helped me like survive, because I was literally like one shot away from death. Spino, though, is definitely just, after the recent TLC, it's definitely one of the best Apexes to play as, and it definitely probably has one of the best models and like massive overhauls and animations out there. Now Suko, my main. I'm not gonna be biased and say it's S tier, because it's not an S tier playable, but it is an A tier. It is definitely an A tier. Even after the nerfs, it's still A tier. It still works. Again, pretty much the best all-rounder dino in the game. Semi-aquatic, able to be in land or water, and also with the more customization with being able to have 2 head slots. It's definitely a good playable still. Some further tweaks can be made, but I think after the Scalding Rage changes especially, it just made it so much better for the dry builds. Because honestly, I haven't really been finding much utilization under the aquatic build I used to run anymore, especially because the health recovery nerfs, so I had to pretty much spec into having better health recovery now. And especially if I'm trying to make videos on official servers, health recovery is everything to being able to get in and out of areas. Because people, especially on official servers, are vengeful. They are vengeful. They're gonna make sure that they kill you one way or another. If you beat them, they're going to be salty about it, switch to whatever they got that's nearby, and then they're just going to head over and try to kill you. That's what's going to happen. The only issue, again, right now I have, though, with Suko is the fact that backhand got nerfed. And the barrage abilities got nerfed as well badly. The barrage abilities base back then, like Claw Barrage's base back then, was 144 damage. With the buff, it was 160 damage. Its now base is 99 damage. With one condition met, it deals 109 damage. Riptide, although it got a cooldown reduction, the issue again is that it does, I think, like about 88 damage at base. But then if one condition is met, it's 98. And then if another condition is met, both conditions are met, it deals 108. Which, not really good. Then the backhand nerfs as well. Like, I don't know how to feel about those nerfs, especially because other dinos with barrage abilities got, like, especially good, like, their damage nerfs are much more minimal. Like Miragaya's Tail Barrage does 120 damage though, which Yes, it means it got nerfed, but it still does way more than a Suko. It only hits it only has to hit a target 3 times. Suko's has to hit 4 for both, which means you need to at least land 4 to get the max damage output. And Iggy as well. Like, I don't even understand about Iggy right now. Iggy is just insane when it comes to its barrage damage. It freaking does 130 damage with its barrage, and it's only 3 hits it needs to land. Tyrannosaurus Rex. I think one of the, not the weak, I'm not going to say it's weak, but it still has a hard time defending itself from 2 slots. It still does. The tail attack changes are good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. But the fact is that its biggest bane could just be a singular Metry. A singular Metry. That could be its biggest bane. Especially because Metry is not even part of the grab threshold either. So you can't even try to utilize grab to get it. When I got into a fight with a Metry with a Rex, that sucker, I could not defend myself that properly. I couldn't try turning in place. I couldn't just try running and turning. No, he was just, especially because he healed himself when I thought I got him low enough. Like, it was just not working. This was just not working for me, which is why I can't even really play Apexes that much, mainly because of the speed as well. But Rex, after recent changes, though, is definitely better. Again, it just has one really, really bad matchup, and that's Metry. I think Metry is just its worst matchup. Alright, Tyrannosaurus, I think you are an S tier playable still. You are just these are just the most insanely strong Apexes in the game right now. It's been getting nerfed lately, which is good because honestly they needed it. That heavy bite was dealing way too much damage, even after it got reduced the first time, because before I think it did 160 damage. Then it went down to 140 damage. Which even then, for a singular attack like that, no, it shouldn't be dealing that much damage. That's even more than what a Rex can deal in a singular attack. But now it got reduced down now to a base 100. I think Blood Soak though got overly nerfed. I feel like 25% increase is not enough. I feel like it should be at least 50%. 100% was an insane number. I think 50% will be a safe number for it though. 25 just feels too little when it comes to getting your health, your stamina regen. I think that's the only I feel like they need to change that when it comes to that for Tyrannosaurus. Because again, it's not a bad playable. It's a really good playable. Obviously, because it's an S tier, it's insanely good. It's also because it's the fastest Apex, and it has juke that it can mix its heavy bite with. Which again, you can still catch players 90% of the time with that if they try to get behind you. But anyway, Alberta, you are honestly an A tier. Alberta has been pretty good lately. And honestly, I gotta give it to Alberta players. You guys honestly are really scary to deal with now after the TLC. Before the TLC, when I would play Suko and fight you guys were like easy things to hunt. The moment though you guys got your TLCs, you are much more, there's something I definitely have to worry about even with Suko. That counter again could do like 80 damage. The fact that it has its stomp still, it's a scary playable. It's a very scary playable. And it can just dish out some extremely high damage. Like, that's a creature I thought I could just beat by myself. And especially, they don't even need a spec in the counter. They can just fully utilize block as just a pure defensive ability without needing it to counter. Which, honestly, I would probably go with that because I feel like counter could be so easily exploited. But anyway, honestly, it's just a solid A tier. There's not much else to say about it. I know I'm not probably putting as much explanation for a lot of these things, but Alberta in general, just there's not a lot of complaints about it. It's just Ceratopsians in general should always be like a high risk, high reward type hunt in general. And I like how they've done it. Marga though is extremely high risk. I think even after the nerfs, it is an S tier right now. It still needs a proper TLC, but right now it feels like it's just overly like, what's the word? What's the word I'm trying to look for? It's overly, it's just insanely strong right now as it is, where even Apexes have to watch out when fighting them. I've even seen Tyrannotitans kill them, but being extremely low. because also the bleed is not pretty either for them. Rexes have the best chance of hunting them if they at least have their crouch ability on, because an Amarga's not going to be able to escape or even knock back a Rex that's ambushing them. I'd say an ambushing Rex, again, worst matchup for an Amarga. Meg too can also be a bad matchup because they can just go under the tail hitbox. And although yes, Amarga has its stomp to kind of keep him off, Megs can just easily go for hit and run tactics. But anyway, Anno. Honestly, since Annos are no longer grabbable by Rexes, or not by Rexes, by Sarcos anymore, they're a lot better. I think they are A tier. They're just really, really risky to go after. Annos right now, though, are just, again, they're just tanks. They're really hard to deal with. And honestly, I got nothing else to say for these guys because all I know is they're high risk, high reward as well. They're very high risk to hunt. Even for like, I mean, not even really for Apexes. I've seen Rexes being able to tank them pretty badly. And I think the main issue there is just, yeah, Apexes, like a Rex especially, that can just deal some extremely high damage, are insane. I mean, an Anno that plays it smart, though, can definitely beat majority of the roster. And especially because it has such high resistance to a lot of the healing abilities, especially. I mean, not healing ability. It has a lot of high resistance to, like, status effects, especially. But honestly, what I've seen so far from Annos is that they are capable of surviving a lot. And I think that earns them the spot of A tier. Barsboldia, I think you go to S tier. Because Bars honestly had another really good TLC when it dropped. The AoE changes, the fact that it can defend the front as well by just simply knocking things back. It's really strong. It's a really strong playable, and even Apexes have to be wary of fighting these things. They're another high risk, high reward type playable, which is good for something as big as they are. They need to be high risk, high reward. They can't really be just a walking Happy Meal as they used to be. Heck, they weren't even a walking Happy Meal. They were just a walking family bucket. That's what they were. That's what they were. But honestly, Bars right now, though, it's still a walking family bucket, but one that can hurt you really badly, or even kill you if you don't play your cards right. That's all I really got to say, though, because again, I do like how Bars is. I love the AoEs that it can utilize. I love that it can even just utilize into just dealing pure damage with its tail attack instead of just knockback, or it can even spec to just using only knockback with light damage. I like that about Bars. I really do like that. It has a lot of good customization options. Now, Campto. Sorry, buddy, but you're C tier. Honestly, no. You're lower. Because the fact that you cannot properly get into fights. Have no potential of fighting right now. All you can do is run away. Or, no, bunny hop away. That's what you can do. That's the best thing you can do. You have no other options in terms of defense. And I feel bad for you guys, I'm going to be honest. Because I know Campto mains out there are hurting. And especially Matt. Matt's out there wanting to release definitely a TLC for Campto. Because that's Matt's main, apparently. That's what I've heard. Don't quote me on that. So I'm actually surprised, though. I'm wondering when it's going to get its TLC. Because currently, I think it's only 3 Herbies that's only 3 Herbies right now that currently need TLCs in the game. And that's Camptos, Stego, and Amarga. I think those are the only Herbies left in the game to TLC. And I'm very curious to how it's going to go. I'm really hoping it's good, though. I'm really hoping the Campto TLC turns out well. Because apparently people we're apparently saying it should be like a kangaroo boxer, which I'm all for, honestly. That sounds really cool, actually. Sounds really cool. Anyway, Duck, aka Dinokairos, aka the Danger Duck. It's an S tier. It's an S tier for a lot of reasons. That backhand hurts, and it just deals so much knockback, and it has such a big hitbox. It is definitely one of the best Herbies in the game to play as. Again, the only issue people have, though, is, again, just the dry and wet builds, which, again, people complain about that with Suko as well. Like, dry, wet builds kind of suck. But Duck still can make it work. Duck still makes it work. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a duck though run parch skills. I think every duck player I've seen just only runs waterlogged. Because to be fair, unlike Suko, it doesn't have a neutral hide where it can just spec into having better health recovery or anything like that. But still, even without that, Duck is just insanely strong. And even if it nerfs its damage by getting itself and other targets wet for its claw attack, it's still going to do high damage with that claw attack, and especially because it has bleed to it. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about Duck. It's a really strong playable that definitely deserves a lot of respect. Now, Eotrike, you are an easy S tier as well. Mainly because, again, Eotrike are just really, really hard to kill. They're just really hard to kill and just have an extremely huge attack hitbox. Like, fighting these things, you can only fight these things if you're playing an Apex. Or if you have a massive group that can easily swap in for going for hit and runs. Or baiting out attacks, which you can't even really bait out its headbutts. The headbutts, I believe, are like still like 1.5 second cooldowns, which those are really hard to bait out within 1.5 seconds. I could be wrong on that cooldown though, but it's still quick enough. And also with that block as well, I'm gonna just say good EOs utilize block the right way. Good EOs, I don't think go pure damage. They go damage with block. They go sword and shield. And that is a really good way of playing with EO. That is a really good way of playing it. Now the next one though, Iggy. Honestly, I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna just say it. I see people complain about Iggy's, saying that they're not good still. In what world are they not good? They have probably one of the highest health thresholds out of any of the 4 slots. They have literally Apex level health, 4,000 combat weight. You can deal like high damage. Can utilize a block, can become immune to knockback. In what world is this considered bad? I mean, maybe if you're complaining about certain abilities not being viable, such as Arm Slam, to be fair, Arm Slam after the recent changes, the fracture's insane. Which means if they fracture someone, they can literally just chase them and just consistently thumb barrage them because they won't be fast enough to get away. I know, because this is one of my worst matchups as a Suko player. This is one of my worst matchups. And I've played Iggy, and even against Apexes, although they might not always win those fights, they go down, dealing a heavy amount of damage to them. Rhino Titans are already like, nope, that's way too much damage already. And especially because, again, they can fracture now if they utilize Arm Slam. Going up against Rex, the best thing they can do is just block a Rex. And even then, they'll just deal so much damage. Like, it's such a hard fight for a lot of players. So honestly, I'm going to be honest. Just because, again, some of its abilities still need to be more properly utilized and probably some improvements need to come to them, I'm going to put it at the top of A tier. Because I know people are going to write and be like, nope, it's not an S tier. I have problems with it. Now I'm like, okay, I'll put it at the top of A tier. I already have a feeling that people are going to attack me for putting it in S tier. I don't think it's an S tier playable, but I do think it's really strong for its tier. That I think it's the strongest, that it's near Apex level, like levels of power. Now, for Kentro, the health nerf really hits it hard too. To be honest, you are going into A tier though, because you could be utilized really well. Like, I have yet to see a Kentro player properly, though, utilize Detonate. Like, I feel like a Kentro can utilize Detonate insanely well. But I just never see them use it. They're either using Puncture, and then just the regular tail attack, or even a charged tail attack with Puncture. But I just never see it used. I don't see a lot of Kentro players, honestly, either, but I know they're good. They are good. They can run circles around players, especially because a lot of players that they would fight won't have stomps. It just feels like you guys are extinct, though. I feel like I never see Kentros. Like, where are you guys at? Where exactly are Kentro players? Where are you all at? I never see you guys. I never see you in groups. Not even in the Mega Packs I never see you guys. And I feel like in Mega Packs you guys would work well. Crap, I shouldn't have said that. I probably just gave the Mega Pack Discord groups an idea to add Kentros. Shoot, I may have messed up by saying that. But anyway, Lambio. This is an easy S tier as well. They can get away from things they can't fight. They can beat pretty much any 2 slots and even some 3 slots. And the fact that, again, they can just heal themselves. I think the worst matchup, though, definitely is things with bleed. So, like, anything with a Conky in their group is definitely an issue. But as long as they can keep pushing back that Conky, it can definitely work. Is that rodeo kick? Oh, heck no. No, it even does high damage even to 4 slots and 5 slots. It even hurts them. I didn't realize how much damage they dealt until I get hit by it. I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm not doing that again. It's a scary playable. It's a very scary playable. But anyway, not much. That's actually, again, not much I can say about Lambios. I mean, it feels like it's just a slightly bigger, more like tuned out Metri. That's all it is. Miragaia. I'm not seeing Miragaias enough. These things are insanely good. I'm not seeing y'all enough. Miragaias are extremely scary, right? Paralysis mixed with Toxin, Venom if they're wanting to utilize Detonate. But still, the Toxin is already high. The high damage it already deals. The Toxin, it's just such a scary thing to fight. Even after the changes where now you can heal off Toxin and Paralysis by resting, it still doesn't matter. These suckers hurt. These suckers are a pain to kill. Because I don't even know what their actual health regen is, but I feel like every time I try playing the long game, they're doing the same thing and able to heal themselves quickly as well. Like I can't play against those things. They have probably some of the strongest status effects in the game. And I am not seeing enough of these things. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not seeing a lot of Miragaia players, which is strange because, you know, you would think you would see a lot of, you know, Miragaia players, but I haven't been seeing them lately. As strong as they are, you don't see them a lot. They have insane defensive capabilities. But anyway, Packy, you are A tier. I would put Packy in S tier. I would have put it in S tier. I would have. Trust me. Their weakness, though, is like they can get grabbed by Hatsies, though. That's the weakness they have. They do some good damage. They can, you know, they can deal some good damage. They're very fast. Very agile. They can fracture, which means they can literally bully a 2-slot that can't really defend themselves that well. And honestly, I just don't... I'm going to be honest. I don't like Packy players. I really don't. But I have to put it in A tier because it's that good. The speed, the damage, it's all there. The knockback, it has it all. But your big weakness is getting either grabbed by Rex, Sarko, or Hatsies. There's Hatsie. But you guys are pretty much part of those mega packs a lot, I notice. You guys are always in those mega packs and always utilizing the most toxic team ups in the game. It'll be Packies. Obviously not playing alone, they'll be grouped with other Packies, but also having Ramps to rat out players. They'll be using like bleeders like Conky, so in case they try to heal themselves. And whatever the heck else they want to add. Heck, they'll even probably add Struthies or Denons just to be scouts for them. And they'll camp areas. They'll camp quest items. They'll do that stuff. You guys are just so mean. I don't even know why you guys are just so mean. Packy pairs just tend to be so dang mean, and I don't know why. But in terms of its actual play style and everything like that, it's an A tier. In terms of how players play them, you guys are F tier. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I do not care. Because you guys tend to be so mean. I've never ran into a friendly Packy. Okay, maybe I have one time though, but again, 1 out of 1,000,000 times. Only one time. But anyway, Stego. You guys do high damage. You guys have really bad stam though. Honestly, you guys have really bad stamina. And you guys have really bad health regen. Stego is C tier. Honestly, beneath these guys. It needs a TLC too. It's definitely one of the oldest. out of all the dinos in the game. It's one of the oldest in the game. It literally still has the oldest model. It still has, you know, it just pretty much still has the oldest. It's the oldest modeled creature. Has some kind of the same old kit that it's always had recently, with only a few changes, you know. They do high damage though. A good Stego player can definitely defeat a lot of things. But it's base survival. If players know how to easily just wait out its stamina and seeing that it's out of stamina, it can be easy to beat, because that's the problem with Stego, is that their stamina recovery rate is not the greatest. They can spec into improving it, but I'm gonna be honest, I've seen a lot of Stego players not even specking into solar powered. I never see them specking into it, because I noticed whenever I would play that game of just making them waste their stamina, I would notice that they are not able to run still for a good solid minute. And I'm just like, okay, they probably don't have stamina at all. And especially because their charged tail attack costs stamina as well. Honestly though, with their high damage, I can't put them in C tier. I feel like I cannot put them in C tier for that reason, because that high damage and bleed. You know, I'll put them bleed. I'll put them bottom of B tier. I'll put them at the bottom of B tier. I'll put them at the bottom of B tier. That's where I'm just gonna keep them. Struthy is a B tier. Mainly because, again, it's very fast. It can be a bane of raptors if they know what they're doing. Like, a good Struthy can defeat any raptor. Besides a Kilo, though. Struthy players, too, are really... Honestly, it's crazy how I do not see herds utilizing Struthys at all. The speed boost they can give them, the freaking scouting capabilities, I don't get how they don't see that at all. How they don't utilize that. Like, herds, you guys need to start utilizing Struthys in your group way more. They're way better than you think. They are way better than you think when it comes to that. They may not be the greatest in combat, but in terms of helping you guys, no, they are insanely good. In terms of a Herbie, though, that can defend itself really well, Styrak, I have to put you... No, I can't put you S tier. I cannot put you S tier. No, actually, no, I can. I have to. No, you guys just deal high damage, high bleed. You guys are just the bane of so many players. You guys are just so annoying to deal with. You can tail ride it, or should we say leg ride, the sides of a lot of Carney players that can't turn in place properly. I've seen you do it to Rexes. I've seen you do it to Tyranno Titans. I'm glad you guys don't have your block anymore, though. The block was the best thing that got removed from you guys, because if you guys still had your block, you'd be the most OP thing in the game. Well, not OP, but you'd just be the strongest dino in the game. But the fact is that you are just insanely fast. You'll deal bleed. You can bleed people out by using puncture as well. Or the fact that you could just use joust, which is already insane as well, makes it even worse. I've killed these things... No, I've played Styrax and killed Apexes. Not with ease, but by just simply playing the long game and letting bleed do most of the work. And even utilizing Joust with the armor boosting ability when you use Joust. I used it and it allowed me to go for easy hits against Rexes. And being able to just simply get away. Because their first instinct would be to bite. If they know they can't utilize their grab, then they're going to utilize their bite instead. Or their crushing bite. And if they're missing the crushing bite, again, all they can do is just try to bite and try to inflict as much damage as they can. I think with the health nerfs, the health recovery nerf though for Styrak, it definitely helps. It definitely made it a little more harder, where we're playing the long game is definitely a lot harder now. Because again, a lot of people in this game don't tend to have patience when it comes to getting into combat. They don't. They really don't. But anyway. Hatsi, these things just keep getting nerfed after nerf after nerf after nerf. At the point, I don't even know where it's gonna end. When are the nerfs gonna stop? Like right now, I'm starting to think that the devs just do not like Hatsi players. They do not like them. I'm just starting to think that they do not like Hatsi players. They really don't. I will say though, Hatsi players have gotten a lot better at clamping from the air. I've seen it happen way more often. It's insane. I gotta give them credit where credit is due when it comes to that. But it does need a second head slot to be able to utilize any other attacks, because it cannot have like Peck Barrage as a main singular attack. It needs a second, I think, a second head slot. 100%. But anyway, ramp. Bro, hang on a sec. You ramps deal no damage, but this does not mean you are bad. I'm gonna just say it. This does not mean you're bad. You work well with groups, but like you just deal no damage. Like there's no way you could fit into any other part of the tier lists like this, because again, you guys just deal no damage. That's all I can say. As for the lasso, you guys are the bottom of D tier. You guys need a TLC as well. You guys do need a TLC. The recent changes to your upping your combat weight, to upping your health, definitely helps you guys a lot. But again, you guys are still not viable for combat. And honestly, the only reason why, I'm going to put you guys above the Campto, because the fact that you have one advantage is that you can fly. That's it. You can fly. That's it. You have the best flight in the game. But anyway, next on the list, Urinos. I'm going to be honest, I don't see a lot of Urino players. So it's hard for me to decide where to put the aquatics, because nobody really plays them as often. It's really hard to decide the aquatics. Really, really hard. After the changes to all the semi-aquatics so far too, I feel like for the aquatics, it's a lot harder for them to fight them off. I'm actually curious if Tylo is going to be the one thing that draws semi-aquatics more inland, away from areas like that. Like, I wonder. I don't know though. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I can't decide with these two. It's really hard. I will say the bleeding and the pouncing for these guys, I guess, would put them B tier. Kaiwekia, since it has such a long, like, the long neck, trying to land a bite is really hard. It's already hard enough to catch fish with. So I'm gonna put them at C tier. If you disagree with me on those, that's fine. Again, I don't care. If you disagree with any of these things, again, I'm open to criticism. I don't care. I'll listen to the criticism, take the information you guys got, and try to improve on it. That's the whole point of criticism, which is why I don't understand why some people who are chefs cannot take criticism, because that means that they're trying to actually help you improve your cooking. It's the whole point of that. So again, here's the tier list of my opinion of how everything is in terms of survivability combat. And how well they can deal, how well they are in groups especially. I probably should have said that at the start, that how well they are in groups. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.